Hey folks, it's the Rock and Roll King, Robert R. McFarland, talking to you. And again, right over my shoulder is my buddy Rusty. He likes getting some of these videos. I think Downtown's getting ready to jump on my lap, so he might be in this video too. But I wanted to do a series called Stories Behind the Songs, SBTS. Kind of like storytellers behind the music that we used to watch on VH1. So, for the rock and roll CD, the first track is Born to Rock. Again, we just got this CD Friday the 13th, but I want to do stories behind the songs. So the first track is called Born to Rock. So basically how that came about, and that was actually written probably, I want to say around the year 2000. I can't remember the exact date. I'd have to go back through some of my tapes. But I came up with this riff, the first opening riff of the song, and I'm a big Ted Nugent fan. So definitely has the Ted Nugent vibe, Uncle Ted. So it had that vibe going, and I was the one that was singing it. Me and Mikey and my buddy Eric Steepleton, we had a project in the year 2000 that we was trying to get together to play this song and some other songs. But we played that song back in 2000. And again, when I was writing the song, I had the first major riff, the intro, and then I had just a little spin on the intro, so I had two guitars. You'll hear me in the background. But I wanted to come up with lyrics, and I wanted it to, be about my life. So, again, I normally just write a song, I'll riff on guitar. Then I'll play that a few times, and I'll start coming up with the lyrics, usually the first thing that hits me. And the first thing that jumped out was, I was born back in 1970, which was, my birthday. So that was the opening line. First child to my mom and daddy. I was the firstborn. I have a younger brother, Ed. Put on this earth to rock and roll, born to boogie deep down in my soul. And again, ain't no telling when I'll ever stop. When I was born to rock. Don't want to live my life punching no time clock. When I was born to rock. So that's the first verse. So then the second verse I came up with is, I don't want no wife, I don't want no kids. To me, that's no way to live. Now, that is partly true, partly not true. I love kids. The people who know me say I would make an awesome dad. The kids that I'm around with, I become a kid. So, I'll become a 10 or 12-year-old kid, depending on the age I'm around. And kids love me. So I absolutely love kids. I don't know if I'd want the 24/7 gig myself, especially now that I'm, 46. But I absolutely love kids. But it's part of that rock and roll mentality. Hey, I'll be single. It's all for rock and roll kind of gig. The people who know me also said, I always told people I'll never get married. Now, as I've gotten older, I've kind of lightened up on that a little bit, okay? So again, this song was written back in 2000. I do kind of maybe see myself getting married. Again, I don't know about the kids thing, but it was the mindset of that time frame, the year 2000. But I didn't want to change it because that was how the song was written. So again, that's how it came up, and at the beginning, when I was playing the song back in 2000, and I had a couple projects after that, we would try to play the song, I was singing it. So when I came to do the CD, I was actually originally going to have Brad Williams sing it, who sings most of the songs on the CD. And I had it lined up for him to sing. And I believe the session that he was going to sing it in, he only got 4 songs done in the time we had booked. And we couldn't squeeze that other 5th song in. We didn't want to start it. So he didn't do Born to Rock. So in the meantime, I got a hold of Renee Holm, who's Renee Paul now, is her married name. And I reached out to her, and I wanted her to do some songs on the CD. And that was one that I wanted her to sing. I said, Renee, this song is tailor-made for you. Your voice will kill this song. So I gave her the lyrics for, I think 11 songs, and I gave her the songs. And she ended up picking 5, okay? And so she came to the session, and she did 5 songs, lead vocals. And then I wanted her to do, I think, 2 or 3 background vocals. So she did all that. And she was like, happy like a camper, like, hey, I got class done. Was there anything else you want me to do? I said, well, I want you to do Born to Rock. And she goes, Robert, I really don't want to do that song. I said, but Renee, it's tailor-made for you. And so she said, I really don't want to do that song, especially with the lyrics, I don't want no wife, I don't want no kids. I don't want people to think that's my philosophy. And to one degree, she has a valid point. People might think that she's singing the song, it's about her life. So, I understood. But I also, was explaining to her, there's a little beanie dog. What you doing, Jolene? She likes to get in the videos every once in a while too. Do you want to come up and be in the video full all the way? Come on. Hurry up, we're on time frame here. So anyways, she didn't want to do that because of that one lyric. So, you know, I let her make her statement. I made my statement. And then she goes, Robert, I'll sing the song if you sing the song. I said, Renee, I'll go in the booth and I'll sing it 5-6 times. But I know my version is not going to make the record. Yours will if you sing the song. So, and she almost broke me. I was getting ready to try to change the lyric on her. But I waited her out. And I told her, so Renee, listen, you're going to do fine. It's awesome. People's not going to think that. And she never practiced the song because she didn't want to do it. She had the lyric sheet in her hand because I handed it to her. She took the lyric sheet and hit me over the head and said, who are you? You never wanted a woman in the band to be the lead singer. Now you want me to sing the song Born to Rock, and you say it's going to be the opening track of your CD. Who are you? What have you become? She just didn't understand because it was so different from, you know, who she had known maybe 16 years ago. I said, Renee, just sing it for me one time. I mean, that's all you got to do. You're going to rock it. And folks, she went in there and sung it one time. About brought me to tears. I looked back at Mike. I said, Mike, and I about had tears in my eyes because she nailed it. I said, Mikey, I cannot sing like that. That's why she's here. And Mike was like, whoa. And the producer was like, that is a take. And Renee goes, no, let me do it one more time just to make sure you guys got enough. So she did do another take. We used the first take, and I think we might have borrowed one line from the second take because I think she changed some words around, like mom and daddy. She might have said daddy and mommy. It was the only difference. But I mean, the first take was basically what you hear on the record. And the most surprising part was, in the studio, no matter how good you are, they're going to adjust maybe something you're out of tune. For me, who's not a singer, they can't adjust my stuff. It's just too far out. But, you know, you might be off just a tear here or whatever. But Born to Rock was the least edited song that Renee sung on. What you hear, folks, is basically what she sung. And Joe said, that is an incredible vocal performance. It was raw, high energy, and exactly what we needed. And she nailed it, folks. That is a true professional. Somebody that can overcome maybe a belief or something that they didn't want to do, but to deliver a performance like that, that is a true professional. And I'm telling you what, she did that song in Rose. Rose actually brought me to tears. I had to leave, and I'll tell you about that. But I was in the presence of one of those vocal performances that you see on TV where people get emotional and they deliver the vocal performance of a lifetime. And on those two songs, it really moved me. So I'm so proud that she was humble enough to take that to heart and really go in and deliver that performance. So then the topper on it was we had Steve Theato do Slide on it. Then we had and he's from Rap Bastard Syndicate. Then we had Derek Russo, a guy that I graduated high school with, who actually loaned me one of his guitars. I think it was a Lotus guitar. It was metallic gold and red, I believe is what he told me. He loaned me that guitar, first electric guitar I ever had. He loaned it to me for about 6 months until I graduated from high school and bought my own. So it was my way of saying, Derek, come aboard, play on this album. It's, you know, a thank you to helping and getting me started playing guitar. And the most interesting part of this Born to Rock song, folks, this is really a knockout here. Of all the players on the CD, myself, Derek, and Renee were the only 3 born in 1970. But we got Renee to sing on that. So Derek, Renee, and myself can all say that first line. I was born back in 1970. And I believe we was all the firstborn. I think Renee and Derek might have been the only child. I have a younger brother. First child to my mom and daddy. Put on this earth to rock and roll. Born to boogie deep in my soul. We all can say that with confirmation because he was born in 1970. So folks, that's how the Born to Rock song came out to be. That's the whole story of it. That's the story behind the songs. I'm probably going to do a condensed version in print on my website so people can kind of read it. But I wanted to do a video so you can see my emotion behind this and you know, see me laugh on some of the funny parts. But folks, this is the Rock and Roll King, Robert R. McFarland. That was the first episode of Stories Behind the Songs, SBTS. Stay tuned for the next episode. And it's all for one, one for all. and all for rock and roll.